Wait to respond is the generator and manifesting generator strategy. So this video is going to be a case study, and it's important to understand the different ways that responding can happen and the different ways that you as a generator or a manifesting generator might actually respond in real life to things, whether that is an idea in your head or something in your physical reality. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Hello, if you are new here, my name is Ebony. I am a human design reader, expert, and coach, and on this channel we learn about human design and gene keys in order to reclaim our power, prioritize our pleasure, and create the life that we desire. So I do want to say before we get started that enrollment for my 6-month group coaching program, the Generator Experience, is officially open for enrollment. So if you are interested in learning how to truly embody and align with your energy type as a manifesting generator or a generator, click the link in my description to learn more about the program. If you see me looking over, it's because I have notes. I want to make sure that I do not miss anything because, like I said, this video is very, very important. And the first thing that I want to cover is the difference between initiating and responding, because I have a unique perspective on this apparently, and it influences the way that I see manifesting generators and generators responding in real life. So to me, the difference between initiating, which is the manifestor strategy, which is part of the manifestor strategy, and responding, which is the generator and manifesting generator strategy, is that if you have read any of like source material from Ra, he says that when he actually channeled the human design system from the voice, it was not a pleasant experience. Okay, it's not like he was sitting and he was meditating and the information just came in and it was like, oh, this is great, let me just write this down, let's write this. He writes about it as though the information was literally forced upon him. Like it was not pleasant for him. Okay, obviously at the end, we have this amazing system and it's great. But his recounting of what happened and how it happened is not something that is like sparkles and rainbows, right? The reason why manifestors are so important is because they are the only energy type that, yes, has a direct connection to source, but what that means is that when it's time for something to come through, right? An idea, a movement, whatever. When it's time for that thing to come through, it needs a channel that is able to hold all of that energy, all of that information, someone who can literally bring it from source and birth it into physical reality, birth it into creation. This is the feeling of, I need to get this out or I might explode. This is coming through me and I cannot stop it. If I try to stop it, it might kill me. That sounds terrible. But it's not like, oh, that would be cool, that might be cute to do. No, it's like, this needs to come out of me. It needs to happen right now. Like, I'm gonna say this, and I hope that it's not too much information, but when like you have to use the bathroom, like you know what I mean, when you gotta use the bathroom and you're like, I can't hold this, like it needs to come out, I feel like I'm gonna explode, right? That is initiating. That is the difference between initiating and responding, in my personal opinion. When manifestors are initiating, they're not just like, oh, that's cute. It's like, no, this thing needs to come through and it needs to come through me. I am the only one who can bring this thing through. It chose me. That is initiating. Manifestors are the only ones that are able to do that feel those urges, because that's what it's called, right? When a manifestor is bringing something through, it is an urge. It is something that is not easily ignored, and it's something that doesn't go away easily, right? Now, responding to your sacral center is responding to your excitement. It's seeing something or even thinking about something, seeing if it is actually truly aligned, feeling that sacral yes, and then taking action on it, going for that thing. I don't want to downplay responding, but it really is, oh, that sounds exciting. I'm going to go ahead and take action on that. You see the difference in the words? So again, I don't want to downplay responding, but it is not the same as initiating. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because people will always say that generators and manifesting generators cannot respond to their own ideas or like ideas that come into their head, because if they do, then they're initiating. No. Because responding to an idea and having something literally move through you is not the same thing. Can they look similar? Absolutely. Depending on what the idea is, it can absolutely look similar, but it is not the same thing. So what I'm trying to do by, going through this long-winded rant about the difference between initiating and responding is to say that you as a generator or a manifesting generator can respond to ideas. You can respond to ideas in your head, even if there is no physical confirmation or some sign in your reality. You absolutely can respond to your own ideas as long as it is actually aligned. This is where a lot of manifesting generators and generators get screwed up, because they will get excited by something, they'll get excited by an idea, and then they'll immediately jump into it. That's not what you want to do. You still want to wait, especially if you have an emotional authority. You still want to wait and check in with your sacral center. Is this really aligned for me? Is this something I really want to respond to? And the gates of your sacral will let you know how your specific response shows up, which is why it's so important for you to know and understand the gates that are activated in your sacral center, because it's going to influence your response and the things that you respond to. But as long as an idea or something in your head, whatever, as long as it is truly aligned and you are truly excited by that thing, you absolutely can respond to it, even if there is no physical confirmation or sign in your reality. So now that we've, gone through that, hopefully everyone understands, yeah? I'm going to give 2 different examples in this video. One example, it has to do with the program that I just finished launching. And this came to me, it just came to me. There was no physical sign in my reality. There was nothing, there was no sign that told me this is the thing to do. There's no physical thing I was responding to. I responded to an idea in my head, an inspiration, and followed that, responded to that, and we're going to talk about it, right? And then another example that was completely, it was completely physical. I responded only to the things in my physical reality. Okay, so that's what we're doing. The first example has to do with my simple business success program, which I just finished launching. No one, literally no one was asking me for advice on business. Not a soul. And for some reason, one day I decided, I think I've kind of gotten into a groove, a little bit of a flow with this business thing. I want to teach this. I want to share what I have learned. I want to guide people through this process, because I know how freaking difficult it was for me at first, at second, at third, and also at fourth. But I want to share this, because I have a 4816 channel. I master things and then I go and I talk about it. So that's what I wanted to do. I got the idea in my head and I waited. I took a second. Well, it took a lot. Maybe I took an hour. I think it was like an hour. It was definitely the same day when I took action, but I took like an hour. And I was like, is this actually aligned for me? And for me, I know my sacral responds so well at this point that I knew exactly what to ask myself. Is this going to allow me to create bonds with people? Is this the right timing for me to do this thing? Is this something that I can truly commit my energy to right now? Is this going to allow me to focus on the details that I really want to cover? All of the answers to those questions were yes. It was a big, fat, sacral, excited yes. I was like, okay, cool. So this is what we're doing. As I started to take action on that, as I got the header ready, as I started making the sales page, as I started, not sales page, because there was no sales page for that program, as I started like writing the emails and figuring out what I wanted to put in it, that's when the signs started to come up in my reality. I started to have, I would get on the calls with clients. They would talk about their business. All of the signs that I saw, which came mostly from my clients, were after I had already started responding on this thing. And I think I even started promoting it. Like I started promoting it that day. And I think like the day after I had a call with a client and they were talking about their business. And it happened like 3 or 4 times. And I was like, okay, I'm on the right track. But at that point, getting to that point where, I was starting to see the signs, I had already taken action. I had already responded. I had already started doing the thing. Okay? So, and just, spoiler alert, that launch went very, 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 very well. So, what does this mean? It means that generators and manifesting generators can successfully respond to an idea before they see signs or physical confirmations in their reality. Because that is not what you are waiting for. What you are waiting for is your sacral center's yes or no. And if it is a yes, if it is a true guttural yes, and not just a yes in the moment, right? Especially if you're an emotional authority. But if it's a true yes, go for it. Go for it. That is how I live my life. That is how I run my business. And, if I was using the logic of a lot of other human design teachers, that program wouldn't have been aligned for me, and it probably wouldn't have done very well. But it did. And I'm actually still very excited about it. So it's going to be amazing. I already know it. Like, I can feel it in my body. Like, talking about it right now, I feel like I have to go to the bathroom, which I know, again, is a response from my sacral center that I am on the right track. So, going along in the same vein as this, my program, the Generator Experience, I am going to be teaching how to properly respond. And I don't want to say properly like, oh, there's only one way to respond. No, absolutely not. But every generator, every manifesting generator has specific ways that your sacral center likes to respond to things, specific questions that are going to allow you to really connect to your gut feeling. Is this truly a yes? Is this truly a no? And that is what I'm teaching in this program. It's a reconnection to your body. It's increasing your motivation when you know something is aligned, but you still can't get yourself to do it. So much of this program is based around my generator and manifesting generator clients telling me that they lack motivation. They have the energy, they know the thing needs to be done, they want to do it, but they just can't get themselves up to do the thing. In this program, a huge focus of mine is teaching you how to cultivate that motivation, because I never want you to feel like your motivation is holding you back, or that you can't do things, or that you're lazy, because no. Okay? So again, if you are interested in the Generator Experience, which is a 6-month group coaching program with me, go ahead and click the link in my description box to find out more information about that. Now, moving on to the second example that I have, which is actually this program, the Generator Experience. Now, I created this program probably about 1.5 years ago, and I wanted to do it, but the timing was wrong. It did not go well when I first launched it. I was very much launching from a space of fear. It was not a sacral yes at that point. I launched it again, and it did okay, but even then, even knowing what I knew and now know about being a generator and responding to things, it still wasn't right, and it still did not do well. It did not do well. which is this is actually another example for the case study. There were no physical signs in my reality. And even though I had the idea, it was not aligned in that moment, and it didn't do well. Both times that I launched it, it did not do great. Now, this time was very different because I had no plans whatsoever about relaunching this program right now. I knew I was going to relaunch it soon, but I had no plans of this being the time. I had a completely different plan. Okay, I was going to launch something completely different, and I was like, we'll get to it when we're done with this, right? Now, I have a whole calendar planned out. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, I started getting this little pull, this little tug to start promoting my Gates of the Sacral, which is a free resource that I have about the gates of the sacral center and how it influences your ability to experience pleasure and recharge yourself when you're feeling burnt out or exhausted. I kept feeling the pull to promote that. It's like, let me toss this out there. Everyone seems to really like it. It's a very popular resource of mine. I didn't know why, but I responded. I was like, okay, that's cool. Let's do it. As I was promoting it, I started to see a lot of generator and manifesting generator specific comments pop up, which to me at the time made sense because it's not just a resource for generators and manifesting generators, but it is extremely helpful for generators and manifesting generators. So I started responding to those comments, those generator and mani-gen specific comments, and I started to see that those videos were starting to go a little bit viral. Like, rather than the regular 200 or 300 views that I would get, it was like 1,100. It was 1,500. It was 2,000. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I'll just, we'll keep doing this. I also started to feel the pull to dive even more deeply and recommit fully to my own self-pleasure practices. Because again, for those of you who don't know, I am going to be a certified sex coach by the end of this year. And I was feeling very pulled to recommit myself to these practices. I kind of let it fall by the wayside a little bit, but I was like, okay, this needs to happen right now. I don't know why, but I need to, pick it back up. And then out of nowhere, I was like, let me go look at the generator experience, because I already created the course, right? It was already created. All the content was done. I was like, let me go look at that. Let me go see, I'm gonna be relaunching it soon. What would I want to add to it? And as I was going through it, I was like, I was feeling it, like that bubbling up inside of me, that kind of, I was starting to sweat. I was like, okay, what is happening here? And then I had a client who actually pulled out of a program. And she said she wanted something that was more specific and tailored to generators and manifesting generators. And that was like the first clear sign. Because like I said, I'd been getting signs this whole time in my physical reality, right? The videos going a little bit more viral, all of the generator and manifesting generator specific questions, all the pulls, like little inklings. I was taking all of those as signs. And then a client comes to me and blatantly says that she wants something more specific to generators and manifesting generators. I was like, oh, okay. So I started diving in a little bit more. If I did relaunch this, how would I want it to look? And then I got on the phone, I got on Zoom with a few clients, and they were talking about motivation. They were talking about how even though they wanted to do these things, even though they had these sacral responses and things that they wanted to get done, they couldn't motivate themselves to do it. And I personally see, which we're going to get into in another, in the next point, motivation as heart center energy, but also a little bit of sacral energy. And I was like, okay, so there's these generator and manifesting generator clients that I have, and they're all struggling with motivation. That would be something super interesting to add into this program. So this whole time when I've been trying to figure out what do I want to add, all of a sudden, a sign shows up like, my generator and manifesting generator clients are struggling with this thing. Okay. So now at this point, I'm deciding I want to base the new generator experience, right? Because I'm pretty much relaunching a whole new program. I want to base it on that, increasing motivation, cultivating motivation. And then the sword in the stone, the straw that broke the camel's back, my coach, my mentor, Eden Carpenter, makes a post about dopamine and neuroplasticity. I believe neurogenesis is a part of neuroplasticity, I think. But she made a post about dopamine and neuroplasticity and how play helps you learn better. And when I asked her, like, I asked her a few things about like serotonin versus dopamine versus like oxytocin and all that. And she told me that she kind of sees dopamine, the neurotransmitter dopamine, very connected to sacral energy. And that was the key that had everything else falling into place. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. I know exactly what I want this program to look like now. I know exactly how I want it to be structured. I know exactly what I want to talk about and what I want to include in all the things. That physical sign, well, all the physical signs, but that last one was when everything clicked into place. And I was like, okay, this is what we're doing. This is the next thing. This is what it's going to look like. This is what I want to do. This is, everything just came to me at that point. All of this, my launch of the generator experience, the creation of this new program, the new direction about, motivation and things like that, all of that came from physical signs in my reality. I was responding to my sacral center, seeing these things in my reality and basing my decisions, basing my choices on what I saw and what I felt. Now, I'm currently in the middle of launching the generator experience. So that's a lie. I feel in my soul that this is going to be amazing. Like, I just know it. But we don't have the physical results of this particular response right now. So once we do, I will be sure to come back and let you all know. But I really just want you to see how responding can look different, and how if something is aligned for you, if you have truly checked into your sacral center and you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that this is what you're supposed to be doing, you can respond to that. Even if there's no physical sign, even if there's nothing in your current reality telling you to, right? On the flip side, you could constantly just be responding to physical signs. But it depends on, how is this idea going to come through? Is it going to come through and show in your physical reality first? Or do you maybe need to respond a little bit and take some action and then it shows up? Neither way is wrong. Because again, we've talked about the difference between initiating and responding. So if you are a generator, and summing up the whole video, right? Because this is a long one, I will admit. Summing up the entire video, I have had experiences where I'm hot. Oh my God, I'm sweating because I'm so freaking excited. I've had experiences where I have responded to an idea with no physical confirmation in my reality, and it's gone amazing. And I've also had experiences where I only responded to things in my physical reality. And I'm quite sure it's going to be amazing. So if you are a generator or a manifesting generator and you have an idea, you have an idea and you have a sacral response to that idea, and you just know this is aligned for you, this is meant for you, you're excited by this, truly on a gut level, do it. Respond to it. And understand that there is no one right way to respond. Okay? So, If you are interested in learning more about this, learning more about responding, learning more about cultivating more motivation, learning more about how to truly embody and align with your energy type in your daily life, then I encourage you to click the link in my description box and check out the generator experience. I hope that this video was helpful for you, and I will see you in the next one.